This coverage of the British Historic Rally Championship is brought to you by Autosessive.com, Skipton Ford, the Tuthill Porsche Challenge, Sherwood Engines, XS Racing and West Wales Rally Spares. It was unfortunate for both the organisers of the rally, the Coltnest Car Club, and the competitors themselves that after a week of near tropical weather throughout the UK, just as this event got underway, it started to rain.
4, 3,
Sadly for the crews, the weather deteriorated rapidly and got worse and worse. And with 5 stages of extremely difficult rallying ahead of them, some of the drivers weren't really looking forward to what lay ahead. And Stokes and Weaver were having some serious excitement in their car.
40, slight left crest, slight left over crest, 90 down square right, square right and over the crest, 50. Push crest, okay, 300 over crest, up the middle. Up, no, slipping. Okay, so slight right over crest.
And Dick Slaughter and Jeff Gearing were finding their escort a bit of a handful as well.
Small crest, long 6 left, keep in. Followed by a 5 right, don't cut. 5 right, don't cut. And long 6 left.
Just ahead of them on the stage though, there had been a horrible accident for Peter Smith and Russ Langthorne when their Mark 1 escort left the road and hit a tree. This was their second major accident of the season, and it left Russ hospitalised with a broken pelvis and arm. And it also impacted on several of the crews behind them as they came across the wrecked car.
Keep at 120.
With all this unpleasantness out of the way, the crews now embarked on the stage known to many as Drummond Hill. But on this event, it was called Octa Gate. Leading Category 1 at this point was Ricky Profit, who having taken 2 minutes off Nutt and McBride on stage 1, was just about to take another 2 minutes off them here. Fastest up to now though were Graham Waite and Jill Cott, who may well have been in the lead themselves if they hadn't caught Nutt on stage 1. Into third now and having their best run of the year on gravel were Derek and Roisin Boyd. Derek was under strict instructions to go as quickly as he could on this event, as Roisin had a party to go to that evening in Belfast, which started at 7 p.m. Now that's what I call pushing your luck. In Category 2, Stokes and Weaver were finding out just how slippery Octa Gate is.
1 right, into red, 5 left. It's 1 right, then red, care 5 left, red, 5 left, red, 5 left, in over crest.
Then they were really lucky to get away with a moment which could have put an end to their championship hopes.
6 left in, into push 3 left in. Push 3 left in.
But at least they had a lead over Slaughter and Deering in their C3 car. And Dick Slaughter, as ever, was providing tremendous onboard entertainment for us.
Square left, square right, 6 left, into 4 left, 50, crest over 1 right, 6 right, 3 left, and 1 left, 2 right.
Behind Slaughter and Deering were Mark Holmes and Anthony Lindsay, who were having as much fun as anyone. And they in turn were just ahead of Andrew Siddle and Carl Williamson, a crew who had been affected as badly as anybody by the Smith-Langthorne accident. As a result, they were now struggling to hold on to their class championship lead. In Category 3, leading after a fantastic time on the first stage was Simon Webster and Pete Cotton in their Mark II Escort. Unfortunately on the second stage they hit a rock and broke a wheel, losing about 4 minutes and plummeted down the leaderboard. This should have put Nick Woodman and Simon Mills into the lead, but they too went off on the second stage and they were out. So into the lead came Wayne Bonza and Richard Aston in their D3 Pinto-engined Escort, and Wayne was really throwing it about. But even he had been off, going over a bank and damaging the steering, but not losing too much time. Because of all these retirements and slip-ups, in second place were Peter Edgerton and Alan Cook in a Mark II Escort. Peter usually runs in Category 2 in a Mark I Escort, so it was good to see him up at the front of Category 3 here. And he was actually quickest of the registered Category 3 runners here on Octa Gate. Next along were Phil and Mick Squires, but they were complaining of too much power. Well, not really, just that they couldn't get the power down. And after a really promising start, they were dropping back a bit. But moving up a bit were McRae and Gulick. Jimmy's confidence had been knocked a bit on the first stage, but was now coming back, and so were the times. And McRae was showing the sort of pace that we should expect from him. Another D3 car that was flying was the Rayner and Deere Escort, and maybe it was just the lack of power in these Pinto engine cars that was helping them to set the times. In Category 1 now, and at the front, Graham Waite and Jill Cotton were still putting on a dazzling display of driving, despite the dismal conditions. And Waite set a time when he rocked it that was 6th fastest overall of all the historic runners, and only 4 seconds slower than Robbie Head, who was driving a Mitsubishi Evo 4-wheel drive turbo car in the concurrently run National B Rally. Now that is astonishing. So without the category win that he needed, it looked like Profit's championship hopes were over. And then, rather sadly, his rally was over as well, as a drive shaft broke at the start of the final stage. But at least he would take the D4 championship class honours. With the terrible conditions, plus numerous incidents, including the course car stopping on Craig Vinian, the rally was now running late, which was no good for Roisin Boyd's peace of mind, what with her party to go to in Belfast and everything. But booking into a time control early wasn't going to help, so she just urged her dad to go a little bit faster than he usually does. Which certainly woke up the watching spectators, who soon made their way back to the safer side of the stage. But at the end of it all, Derek and Roisin could celebrate not only second in the category, but their first class victory of the year as well. But winning the rally with his third Category 1 victory of the year and taking Class B4 as well were Graham Waite and Jill Cotton. And didn't they make it look exciting?
The thing about the Volvo, it seems to be that it doesn't just slide, it wallows, it fishtails, and you know, it's not one slide, it's lots, isn't it?
Yeah, it's from stage start to stage finish basically. We're sliding one way, forwards, backwards, whatever, in one way or another.
In Category 3, it was absolutely great to see Jimmy McRae and Pauline Gulick making the most of the Porsche's traction and I guess a bit of local knowledge to simply shoot up the leaderboard. They were 6th after stage 1, 4th after 2 and in the lead after 3, and that's not bad going. Wayne Bonza and Richard Ashton didn't let up their pace at all though, and at the end of the day they would be rewarded with 2nd in Category 3 and a clear class victory, which was thoroughly deserved after driving like this. Wow, that's the way to wreck a car. Third after an excellent performance were Peter Edgerton and Alan Cook. They were fastest of the registered crews on Octa Gate and then continued to hold a steady pace towards the end. And 4th were the Squires brothers. They might have hoped for better on this event after their Flanders victory, but this was okay and the car was still in one piece and ready for the RAC. Simon Webster had a fraught rally, spinning here on Irokti, but still taking 2nd fastest to McRae, and then he just drove as hard as he could, finishing off with another blistering time on Griffin, where he was 20 seconds faster than any other car in the category. and without that broken wheel, he could have won Category 3 at a canter. But ifs, buts and maybes don't win rallies, and he was well down the field at the end. But at the front of the registered runners, after a day of ever improving times, it was the most popular man on the event who took victory. Colin McRae in the Tuthill Porsche 911.
The first stage, we didn't get a really good run the first few corners, and I lost confidence and we couldn't see because of the rain. But after that, it's just getting confidence in your ability to drive the car.
It was nice. I heard some spectators as you went past on Craig Vinian that said, when you've got class, you've never lost it. So it's nice to think that.
That's nice. Well, after 30 odd years, that's quite nice to hear that.
With Profit now out of the rally, it was down to Stokes to see if he could get his escort to the end of the event and take the championship. But the conditions, if anything, were getting worse. But Stokes is a wily old coyote and wasn't about to take too many risks or make any mistakes, and he slowed right down in the fog on Craig Vinian just to make sure of that. And then he speeded up again when the fog lifted. In second in the category were Dick Slaughter and Jeff Deering. Dick, another driver, proving that just because you're in your 60s, it doesn't mean that you can't drive quickly anymore.
And tight 5 right. And 1 left over crest, and 5 left. 50, small crest, long 3 left.
The battle between Slaughter and Deering and Siddle and Williamson was now frantic and as close as you could imagine. And it wasn't just a class victory that was at stake here, but the class championship victory as well. And with Siddle and Williamson feeling a bit aggrieved that they'd lost so much time at the scene of Peter Smith's accident and were unfairly penalised because of it, Siddle was now driving like a man possessed to make that time up again. And on Craig Vinian, he had the fastest Category 2 time of all and was over 18 seconds quicker than Slaughter, to be only 1.2 seconds behind as he started the final stage, Griffin. But now it was Slaughter's turn to push like crazy.
150, keep your foot in.
And he was 12 seconds quicker than Siddle here to take the class by 13 seconds, but to lose the championship class battle by an astonishing half a point.
3 right over crest. 3 right over crest. Hang on to it.
Behind those two, though, came Chris Brown and Liz Jordan, improving as the rally went on, and they would eventually take 4th in the category. But achieving a lot more in winning Category 2 and taking their 2nd championship title on the trot were the superbly efficient David Stokes and Guy Weaver. Throughout the season, they had gone quickly when they had needed to and slowly when they had needed to, so they could be justifiably proud of another superb performance, both on this event and from the beginning to the end of the championship.
2 years on the trot and the 3rd time overall, so I'm absolutely delighted.
You work very hard, you're very committed, we've said this before. You respond to pressure, you never seem to let pressure get you down, you just keep on going.
No, pressure won't get to me. I can handle that. Luckily enough, I do a job that is all pressure, and it's a daily 24-hour, 7-day-a-week job. So pressure is only on that minute, isn't it? The pressure is for that minute and doesn't matter.
Yes, fabulous achievement, really happy with it, and pleased, good teamwork between myself and David. I think we work hard at it, long hours, and put the time in, and it shows. I'm pleased. Yes.
Did you have to keep him under control today, or was he keeping himself fairly sensible in these conditions?
Just had to remind him of tightening bits and to slow down where there was no need to go off.
This coverage of the British Historic Rally Championship is brought to you by Autosessif.com, Skipton Ford, the Tuthill Porsche Challenge, Sherwood Engines, XS Racing and West Wales Rally Spares.